Nico. I watched a bunch of what do you call it? I watched a
It
bunch
is?
of
Okay. It's not familiar.
DMVs of
I
Nico.
think the goriest show I didn't really watch a gory show until like 2011 or something like that. When Dead Man
Have you ever
Wonderland
watched?
and another came out.
I don't know if Dead Man Wonderland was that gory.
That's a lot of blood and murder.
Yeah, but maybe it's because like when I was a kid, I remember seeing blood sea clips all over, and I
Yeah.
also watched Elfen Lied, and I remember being so depressed because like I was like, "Ugh, Elfen Lied, they killed the dog. What the fuck?"
Okay, we're ready for
'Cause-
Umineko.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
So, oh, I didn't screen share it to you, so that's probably why we're confused.
Oh, but I was.
What if we go down here? Okay, let me screen share. Oh my god. Alright, you're gonna have to deal with 720, 30 FPS.
Wait, can I finish my oats?
How are you still playing Osu while we're talking?
I wasn't talking. I didn't talk when we were doing that because I didn't play when we were doing that because I can't pay attention when I play games. Did I
Alright,
ever tell you that I have disorder?
autism. Alright, I'll ramble for a bit then. Yeah, we just watched the Attack on Titan. So did you like the ending of it?
I liked it. I think the people who get angry at the ending don't understand why, like, what the
Okay,
fuck
because
is
I
going
was like,
on.
I kind of liked the ending, so I'm not really sure what's so bad about it. It is a little confusing getting up there, but I don't think the ending itself is bad.
Don't like it because Aaron died, even though he was like a dictator.
I mean, he kind of
Essentially,
needed to die.
cause like it's cause Mikasa had to probably move on by herself, and like people don't like that for some reason. Even though the anime basically showed like basically the issues with
Not letting stuff
you know,
go. When you never let it go, the war keeps happening.
yeah, and like how basically Aaron's plan was he knew he was gonna die, right?
Yeah.
I don't think after Aaron massacred all those people, he should be coming back.
Hey guys,
Like,
I have a wife and kids
like,
for the next year.
yeah, no, cause like he literally crushed all those people. It was kind of gruesome too. Like the point was to stop the rumbling and stop Aaron,
There's a
and
rumbling in my tummy.
I feel like the reason why it's like most of the people who don't like it happen to be like doomers or like the most like depressed people ever who would like support who don't see the wrong in Aaron's actions, and it's like because they like Aaron. I like Aaron. I love
I
Aaron.
did not. I hated him the whole show.
I love Aaron as a character. Like even I don't think I can hate him because I
Well, as a
understand. But
character, he's interesting because I never could quite grasp what he's thinking of, and I think that's pretty interesting. Because
the
nobody
thing
else
is,
also understood him in the show. Like they're all like
it's kind of
conflicted.
like I mean like it's kind of like why people hate Gabby but love Aaron.
Oh, I hate both
People
of
hate.
them
I mean,
because they're very similar. So like I don't like Aaron, so I also like don't like her because she's
yeah,
basically just him again.
that's the whole point though,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're both like parallels basically,
Yeah,
but
I knew
people
I
get
clocked that
angry at
shit like as soon as
Gabby.
I saw her. I'm like, she's acting just like Aaron.
Yeah, Gabby is Aaron and Aaron is Gabby, but like from different countries. And
Yeah,
also, the people only hate her because she killed Sasha. And
that's what I was saying.
I
like,
hated the fact that she killed
but
Sasha, but
my chat was telling me like they hate Gabby, and I'm like, all right, let's see what she does. I finished the show. I'm like, okay, she was kind of annoying, I guess, but her only really sin is killing Sasha.
killing
But like, I
Sasha.
don't even care that much about that. So like, it's not that
I mean,
terrible.
I think it's fair that people hate Gabby, but at the same time, it's like you gotta respect her character a bit because she's literally just Aaron. Because there's always people who love Aaron but hate Gabby, and it's only because
It
she
all
killed
makes sense.
Sasha.
I mean, it makes
And I
sense in
mean,
a
like,
humanity kind of way of being hypocritical.
yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not saying you can't hate Gabby for killing Sasha. I'm just saying they're basically the same fucking character, but like rebranded.
I
Just
love
one's from gnarly.
I love Armin. He's been my goat since like the day one.
I also love Armin. My favorite character, if you couldn't tell by my freaking figurines, is Levi.
Mm-hmm.
I love Levi. He's been my number one since like second grade. Cause cause like I don't know, cause I
Oh,
thought he
don't
was
say
cool.
second
Okay,
grade, bro. I was watching that show and
nah, I'm
made me
young,
feel
guys,
old.
but I'm young, but I'm older. But I'm getting older, and you know it gets depressing. I'm not a minor, so that's what makes me depressed. Is like, but that should make you even more depressed,
Sigh.
right? Because I'm talking
My
about like
life
watching
is
Attack on
adulthood
Titan.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
life
Attack on
is
Titan when I was
adulthood.
like ninth grade, 10th grade. It
Oh
was
man.
2012, so 2013, so whenever that was. I was like 10th grade, 11th grade.
Hmm. I watched Attack on Titan season 1 when it came out, and then season 2,
Same.
and I remember everyone was so scared that there wouldn't be a season 3 because I think Wit Studio lost funding for
Oh,
it
did
or
they change
something, or they couldn't
studios?
afford
Animation
it.
studio?
Yeah, they changed
Okay, so
studios,
that's why.
or I think like they changed it on fourth season. Fifth? I forgot how many seasons are there in Attack on Titan. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
because I watched the manga for like, and I read the manga for the last part. But I remember everyone. It was like I think the Kenny season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where like everyone was concerned that they weren't gonna get another season of Attack on Titan, and I was there because I really liked Attack on Titan. Someone just messaged me, "Hey kitten, what the fuck?" Let
Oh
me.
no. I haven't finished your Elsie, so we can Umineko. Let me load up the file. Guys, I can't believe we're almost done with episode 3. We're like 20% of the way done with it.
I know. I gotta finish my Osu map.
Oh my god, we're in the garden with the fucking witch. Yawn. Yawn, yawn, yawn.
ホムンクルスがなんとかって言ったな。
Yeah, hurry up. Try to think about what happened last time. So we were like kind of talking about her past with being imprisoned by Kinzo.
I've been on I'm just saying that I'm kind of been spoiled in some parts of Umineko.
Okay. I have
It's
not.
been so long. So I know some things. Homunculus, like Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh
What?
shit, I forgot. Yeah, that show is so good. I love Brotherhood so much.
Yeah, I think the hype is definitely deserved.
I think my only criticism for that show is I didn't find it funny, and it tried to be funny sometimes. That was it. It felt very Tumblr era.
But like, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I was like, it's kind of outdated. I could see. I remember Tumblr loving that show, so I was like, you know, that makes sense. But I just didn't really find it funny. That was everything else about that show is amazing. Hurry up so we can hear Battler talk about homunculus. Oh, Battler, it's been so long. Been so long since
I
we've
like
seen this
how
guy.
I love female authors in anime.
Yeah, they're kind of peak. I say that, but I can't remember. Was it Reborn? Is Reborn written by a woman? Who wrote Reborn?
Okay, I'll play Osu later. I'm getting better at Osu. I can do 4 stars now.
Nice.
Or 4.5 stars. I'm gonna be the very best. You're gonna see me at the top 500.
Believe it.
Just you wait. I'm surprised there's not an anime about what do you call it? About rhythm games yet that got popular. I feel like there has to be one, right? Because there's always like the strangest stuff I see on Crunchyroll, for example. I go onto Crunchyroll and it's another isekai anime, and
Yeah.
it's about how someone reincarnated as a vending machine in another world, and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Okay, so they've reincarnated as a spider. You've reincarnated as a vending machine. What next? You're gonna reincarnate as what next, huh?
And use toilet paper.
I reincarnated as. I don't even know. I try to watch some of them, but they just don't interest me.
Oh, the next show I'm gonna watch is Fruits Basket. You don't like
Yeah,
that because it's
no, I mean I don't
women.
mind. I mean I don't mind. I don't mind women. Or like you're making me
I
sound like
hate
a
women.
misogynist.
You hate women.
The reason why I don't like a lot of anime with women, I know Fruits Basket is good. I know Fruit Basket's good, so I'd watch it. But the thing is, why I avoid a lot of like anime with like women in it is because they write them so poorly, and I hate it so much.
Oh, the author's a
Like,
woman.
well, that's why I never said I wouldn't watch Fruits Basket.
You hate women created.
No, I love women created things. That's why if
I
I
support
would
women's
rather watch,
businesses.
I would rather watch like an anime with female characters if a woman writes it. But when men write women, why do they come out to be the most insufferable like people ever? I just don't see like I don't know like it feels like some of these authors have like a boner for children.
Why? I love isekais, but they're overdone now. Isekais gave you your new cosplay Truck-kun. Oh, I know Truck-kun.
I love.
He's quite popular.
I actually love isekais, but like in the BL genre, I love them.
Yeah,
But
they
the
are
thing is,
quite useful for BNs. I feel like isekais became overdone after ReZero. Like ReZero created this insurgence of isekais, and then I've just like lost interest after.
I think I like isekai, but only in like BL manhwa.
Gay
'Cause, like,
lovers, but in Japan. Gay lovers,
'cause,
but
like-
in space.
But the thing is, like, I mean, maybe also like I'm autistic, so the same kind of thing doesn't bother me, but it has to be pretty particular. For a while, I'd only read like isekai BL, and it was pretty good. But the reason why I don't like a lot of isekai genres nowadays is because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're just not engaging, and the character designs suck. Doggy doo doo.
The main
Like they
character
all
looking
look
like
so
fucking.
shiny, and I don't like. I like unique more. I like
There's
more
BL
unique
isekai anime. What are they?
I did watch. I don't know if there's per se like maybe like.
Oh,
the
they
new
might be
ones,
VNs.
But there's definitely visual novels, I think. But I haven't played
Umineko.
much of. I haven't played much of isekai. I actually haven't run into an isekai BL yet. Maybe like it's very common in manhwa, but all the visual
Oh,
novels I played
manhwas.
with BL. Yeah, all the BL I played, typically actually, I've played like a lot of BLs. Like I played all of the Nitro Kirals stuff. I played Shingaku. I'm. This doesn't really count as a BL, but I'm playing Ayakas.
And we're playing Umineko.
It's not a BL. But next I'm gonna play Lucky Dog, I think. It's been a while. Lucky Dog, and some other BLs. And like BL visual novels can be really good. Some of them though kind of very lackluster. Like the more like some of the popular ones that did get popular, DMMD, like is not the author's best works, like the scenario writer's best works, but still got popular, which it's not a bad thing. But there's better visual novels out there, like Lament to Beyond the Void is like really good, but
All right, are you
so-
ready?
Yes, I am. But
Nice.
if you want an anime with strong female characters, watch a Pocketary Reason.
I'll probably watch that eventually.
Pocketary Diaries is nice. I like that anime. I just don't like the romance between Jinchi and Mao Mao, and it's only because I feel like Jinchi comes off as a bit overbearing, and Mao Mao does not seem interested in the slightest, which I know is a popular trope.
I was about to say
in,
that
like,
sounds like a
romance.
trope in anime. I've definitely seen some like that.
don't know. To me, it comes off as a bit overbearing, and it makes me like not like the dynamic between them at all. Because there's like some uncomfortable scenes where she obviously is trying to dodge his like advances, and she feels really uncomfortable, and then you have to just watch her like get cornered constantly and just
Oh,
like try to avoid it, and
well,
the
I do
fucking
not like that.
guy. Yeah, I mean, like some people, like
I mean,
lots
it
of
depends
people
how
like
they do that. Cause like I've seen
I
Maid Sama, and that
I
happens a lot. But
I personally do not like it. I know lots of people do like it. I just
a
don't
lot of
like
women
the
love
way.
imagining it's
Cause
them being pinned against the wall.
I know, but like the thing is like there's a very strong power dynamic against them, like a strong like power difference. But the thing is, she's a strong female character, I'd say. I just really don't like how they kind of in the anime. It shows like it kind of feels like she has no feelings for him at all. So I don't know how they're gonna progress the romance if I can't even imagine her together with that guy.
Yeah.
And it also turns out that guy is like in a very high rank, so it also just gets really uncomfortable because she can't necessarily say no to him all the time.
Uh-oh.
And so,
I might be too woke for this show.
but I like the rest of it. Like the romance is not the focus, which is why I like the show.
Oh, cool.
Frieren is pretty good. It's kind of sad because the romance is like tragic. I love Frieren. It's a great anime with great characters. Let's see. Is there any other like anime with strong female characters that I like? It's kind of hard to think of some.
Umineko.
Umineko, maybe. Oh, I like Spy Family. Spy Family was pretty nice when I watched it. It's just like lighthearted. Very tropey, but I thought it was funny.
Alright. You ready?
Have you watched JoJo's yet? Oh.
Nope.
Okay.
It'd be funny if the whole stream was just talking while Umineko is just sitting here.
I feel like we've done that before.
Probably. That shit's so funny.
It's
All right.
just like Umineko just feels really torturous to read sometimes. Okay. She said something about the homunculus.
一応は知ってるぜ
I know a bit about that.
あれだろ
It's that thing, right?
I've seen a bit of Full Metal Alchemist.
錬金術だかで作り出せ
Oh, alchemy!
Oh, what the hell?
Oh my god, it is Full Metal Alchemist! A manufactured human created with alchemy or something. Wait, can we just watch Brotherhood?
Oh.
That's you.
Yes.
お嬢様の魂
Milady's soul was shut up in a homunculus, and she was revived into this world, receiving life again as a baby.
しかし
However, because she was a baby, any professions of love on Kinzo's part would have been quite useless. Sicko. Leave that baby alone.
Don't touch babies.
まさかじい様はその赤ん坊をこの隠し
He
屋敷
waited?
You aren't saying that grandfather shut the baby up in a mansion.
同じ年に成長するまで閉じ込めたってのか
It grew to be reach the same age he'd been.
はい
Oh my fucking god.
Correct.
Wait,
That
I
is
think my
sick.
theory last time must have been correct then. Oh, disgusting. Get away from me.
Walking out of the June Swenyo stream. Okay, have a good night, Manatics. Sleep well. Now, have some nice dreams about Attack on Titan. Enjoy Umineko. We will try our best.
Oh my god.
We will try our best. Have a good night.
Good night.
Correct.
そのまさかで
That is what I am saying.
しかし
However, while her soul was the same,
人
a
間
human spirit is strongly influenced by its container.
お嬢様は
My lady lost all of her memories of the past and grew up to be a very normal human girl.
普通の人間
Okay, so you're telling me Kinzo
そこの
He groomed her.
座ってるベアートだってのか
Kinzo loved this woman named Beatrice. She had
Not
a
even the same
child.
woman, bro. It just looks like her if she lost her memories.
No, I think Kinzo's fucking delusional, and he had a child with like his mistress Beatrice. He gave birth.
Well,
like,
obviously
they
there's no
she gave
homunculus.
birth- Yeah, there's no fucking homunculus. It's just
Well, I
her
mean, if it was
fucking
real, if it
daughter.
was real. then-
And then no, you just have to believe in the magic. No, there wasn't a fucking homunculus. She just gave birth to a baby, right? She probably gave birth to the baby, and the baby grew up and looked exactly like her mother, right? And Kinzo, thinking the baby looked like, or his child looked like his mother, probably did some weird things to his child. Yay! You know, that's probably what's going on here. Like, I feel like that's the context. If we just erase all of the magical stuff and just think of it as like a realistic story, as Umineko is probably trying to point us out at the mystery or whatever. Kinzo just wants to fuck his daughter because his daughter looks like his mother, or the daughter.
His wife.
That's kind of
Or
his
mistress.
wife, mistress. That's fucked up.
Anyways.
But yeah. And you're saying that's the Beato sitting in the garden chair.
Yes, that is correct. It grew to be it grew to be completely identical. However, it did not possess her power as a witch. Milady was completely human.
Because she was a different person.
Beata, who was sitting in the garden chair looking up at the sky, voiced the same question again. She asked who she was. The meaning of those words was finally starting to click. She couldn't understand why she was living here, all locked up. Grandfather had seized Beatrice's soul, shut it up in a body of flesh, and then shut that up in a mansion. However, she had... Sorry, I gotta take off this fucking... My phone holder is on my desk, and I can't read the dialogue. I've noticed that 100 line is very similar to Attack on Titan. Like, just replace the Titans with the invaders, and it's like the same thing. And it also has to do with time travel, like Attack on Titan. And trying to get the best outcome.
That reminds me of a BL I watched. Read a visual novel. Hashihime of the Old Book Town. It has time travel.
Got to go back and suck his dick.
No.
Is that not what happens?
No, he's trying to prevent his friend's death over and over again and trying to get the best out or whatever.
So he can suck his dick.
No, because he keeps killing himself. He's like, no, babe, don't kill yourself. And the guy is kind of weird. He's kind of funky. He's like, I think we were soulmates in every life form. When you were a fish, I ate you as a bigger fish. And it's like romantic or whatever the fuck.
It's like us, but it's like a fucking animal being devoured.
Exactly. That's us for you. That's what basically is that whole anime, or not anime, visual novel. But you know, it was good, but the plot twist kind of ruined it in my opinion. Like if you finish all the routes, it's not gonna go. Like it's really weird, but you know.
And they were siblings. However,
and they were. Oh, that reminds me of another visual novel I played.
At the end, the final plot twist is they were siblings.
No, the plot twist was his twin never existed. But no, he did no. But okay, he fucked his twin. But turns out his twin was just the embodiment of like a different part of himself. He actually did have a twin, but he was away.
So he fucked himself.
Yeah, he fucked himself. And then
That's
he
pretty
meets his
gay.
twin again at
Wait,
the
but he
end.
was trying to fuck his twin. Wait, what? I didn't even process that.
He had so much trauma that he ended up fucking himself, which he thought was his twin, but his twin was in a different country or a different area or some shit. I actually don't remember it that well, but it was pretty good. Believe it or not, it was actually well written, which was what was surprising to me. That game had so much problematic like shit going on, but it surprisingly handled it pretty well. Over here, Kinzo's fucking his daughter, because it looks like his mother. That's kind of fucked up.
However,
I mean,
his mistress. So she had lived here since the time of her birth. She couldn't understand who she was or why she had lived. Shut up. Did we? She couldn't understand why she was living here, all locked up. Since she's lived there since the time of her birth, she couldn't understand who she was. Why she was.
I searched up why Umineko repeats itself a lot, and people say when it repeats itself a lot, it emphasizes the little details you will miss.
No, I promise you I'm not missing anything. Like,
I
if the
think
goal
I
is to
already
piss off the
deciphered it
reader
first.
by, like, repeating everything to make us remember those things, like, I don't know. Wait. Who would take such a stupid story seriously? Why don't I change my interpretation? In other words, couldn't it be something like this? Grandfather met Beatrice. He then fell in love with her and courted her, but she didn't accept him. Then he fell into a rage and shut her up inside this mansion. Beatrice tried to escape, but no matter what she did, she couldn't succeed, so she finally chose her own death, and then... no. Maybe there was a girl who looked just like her? No, a baby. Grandfather raised this child with care. Maybe he didn't view his child as his daughter. The soul was once again shut up in a cage of flesh. Those words probably meant that he didn't view this kid as his child, but as her reincarnation. Maybe that's what it meant.
Fucked his child. This is
If you
disgusting.
interpret it that way, even a story this weird might make a little sense. No. That'd be some bullshit Beato cooked up to confuse me. As if I could accept any of this. In the first place, Quadorian was it? There's no proof whatsoever that hidden mansion actually existed. Wouldn't this be something she fabricated on the spot? A hidden mansion called Quadorian does exist in the forest of Rokkenjima. That is the place we were just talking about.
Ew.
Who gave you permission to read?
Yeah, who gave you permission to read?
Runove used the red to say that Quadorian really existed. Does that mean the same thing as the red Beato used? I may not look it, but I am a demon. Please keep this a secret from my lady, yes? Oh, sure. Beato, who knew I would try to trip her up, had grown extremely cautious when using red. You'd think that Runove could also use the red. However, it's the red of a crafty man. I didn't know how far I could accept it. But anyway, I might be able to get some kind of hint out of it.
So, at Beto, relaxing in the garden of the Quadorian, and that conversation she had with grandfather were the truth?
Yes, it is the truth. In the past, the pair actually had a conversation like that in this place. Okay, you can't say like that. Okay, that's too descriptive.
Thanks a lot. I'll ask for some more red. He said she was born in a homunculus.
Waiter, more red, please.
Waiter, I want some red 40. But does that kind of unscientific magical thing actually exist? No. See, it's not red! So basically he just fucked his daughter!
I am unable to answer that question. After all, doing so would cause a stalemate.
Stalemate? What does that mean?
It's a chess term referring to a stake in which, similar to a perpetual check. Any further progress in a game becomes impossible. This would mean the opposite of an endless repetition of moves. Because all moves would disappear, it would bring about a kind of deadlock. In chess, this would lead to a draw, just as perpetual check would. However, there could be no draws in the game between you and Milady, and we've drawed like the past few times. I don't know if that counts as losing, we're still playing, so it's not a draw. Therefore, I am unable to answer a question that would bring about a stalemate.
You honestly want to confuse me by saying anchor happy stop.
Why don't you define what stalemate means again? I can't. We just explained this, man.
You obviously want to confuse me by saying incomprehensible stuff, but you're trying to dodge the question because you can't use red to say something magical like homunculus exists, right?
If I were to say in red that a witch exists, what would you do, Battler-sama?
俺たちは大喧嘩してるんじゃねえ
Whether
か
or not I
よ。
believe it or not is what our whole fight's about, right?
それを言われちまったら身も蓋もないぜ。
If it was that point
ゲ
blank,
ームオーバーだ。
it'd be game over.
魔女は存在すると赤で
If I said a witch exists in red, you would have no room for argument. However, since the reason would never have been made clear to you, Battler-sama, you probably wouldn't accept it. However, after being told that in red, you would have no room for argument and you would not have been shown any proof. In this situation, even though you wouldn't be able to admit defeat, you would have no way to make a counter-argument and it would become a deadlock. Even though the checkmate would not have been made, there would be no existing moves left. But you would not be able to play your next turn. It would never become Milady's turn. And the game would stop for all eternity. As a result, Milady would be unable to force you to submit. That would be a deadlock situation. In order to avoid that, I am unable to answer questions in the nature of red. In nature in red.
早い話が身も蓋
So
も
to
ない質
say
問
it
は禁止
quickly,
だ
you're saying that a point blank questions are prohibited.
Please! Make it stop. This is the Endless Witch. Version
Oh, that's true.
Purgatory.
I mean, we should listen to. Can we listen to a different OST? Well, that's true, I guess.
赤で魔女は実在する
If I
って
were
言
to
われちまった
told
ら
a witch exists, I'd have to give up from the start.
ご理解いただ
I am
け
pleased for you to understand.
他の形の
I believe that we may be able to work together if you ask your questions in a different form.
奴がはぐらかした副賞要求には答えられるか
Can you help me with that line Beatrice dodged when I told her to repeat it?
この島の人数だ
About the murder of the people of this
お嬢様
island.
が保留されてい
If
る
my lady held back on repeating it, then of course I cannot
お
respond.
嬢様の家具でございますので
As my lady's furniture, I am unable to be too forward. Or even made an exaggerated gesture, like trying to act like a loyal retainer. This guy's so shameless.
一瞬でも使えるやつと思ったのによ
I just when I thought you might actually be useful.
諦めて他の質問を
I'll
探
give
す
up on that and search for the different question.
Okay, Umineko is driving me insane. I wish I was drunk right now. Like I don't know. I just got this like idea in my head that man, it would be so cool to be drunk right now. It's driving me mad.
そうだ
I think because the background looks like wine or something.
Man, I'd be so crunked up right now.
It's giving me the
I'm
same
losing.
effect of like being drunk.
It kind of makes my head heated, and like it's like the same.
Yeah, I'm feeling
frustration
flushed.
I feel. It's like the same frustration I feel when I can't when I used to do homework, and like I
This
used
game's
to
a
be on like the
chore.
same fucking question on like the same, and I try to redo it over and over again, and it wouldn't be the fucking right answer. And I knew what the right answer was because they gave me an answer key, but they didn't show you the steps to take to like complete the thing, right? To complete the question. So you were just stuck there guessing over and over again, and then you do kind of shit on your next test, and like it's like, oh, why are you doing so shit? It's supposed to be easy, you know? But I don't fucking know. I just suck at math. And yeah,
大事なことを
that's
確
what
認
it
するのを
reminds me.
忘れてた
I'll give. That's right. I was forgetting to check something important. I kind of forgot which line I was on.
これはベアとの思い出話なんだ
This is a story about Beito's memories, right?
ろいつの話なんだ
When did it happen?
まさか現在ってことはないだろ
Oh.
It could be happening right now, right?
はい
Correct.
ここは1906
This is the world of 1967.
19年前
The world of 19 years previous. So before Balor is born. Let's try rearranging the story again. I wonder if it couldn't be something like this. Grandfather fell. Well, I'm glad they're doing a summary now, actually, because it's been a while. This is like the only time a summary's been nice. Grandfather fell in unrequited love of a person called Beatrice. Then he confined her in this hidden mansion and continued to court her, but she was stubborn and didn't give in. Eventually, she grew pessimistic about being able to escape from here, and probably committed suicide. Then her soul was put in a homunculus, and... No, if I accept that, it's the same thing as accepting the witch. I can interpret that part like this. She probably had a posthumous daughter. I don't know what that means. Grandfather must have believed that her soul had been placed in a new physical body and might have called that child that was reincarnated as Beatrice. That means at least 19 years ago, Beato existed on this island as a 19th person. That would explain how she looks so young.
Yeah, but then his daughter might have had another child, and then that was Sayo.
Her name was Albert Einstein.
Her name was Cannon and Shannon. I'm still convinced about Cannon and Shannon being the murderers.
Yep.
So, if let's say that Kinzo kept courting her until she died, because I bet she died early, because Kinzo, you didn't see... I guess he went on long walks, but I'm assuming, like, he used to... Anyways, I'm starting to get confused. Either way, you can't do more than speculate. The only thing we can say for sure in red is that in 1967, in a hidden mansion in Rakinjima, Beatrice existed as a human. That's all. This makes me want to play Lamento.
That is correct. In 1967, a hidden mansion on Rakinjima, Beatrice existed as a human.
Thank you. That really helps.
As a human, huh?
She's probably dead now.
Yeah, but as a human, not as a witch.
Yeah, because there was no witch.
I know, but he just said that to Battler, like, in red.
Yeah,
I don't think witches count as humans, so I feel like that's very important.
I feel like the reason why he said that is because what they're trying to be like is, yeah, she was a homunculus until her powers awakened again and she became a witch.
Oh.
But when he says as human, it means like her quote-unquote homunculus was there and she did not know who she was because she might have been a reincarnation, but she didn't have her past memories. But they're trying to portray it as, oh, she got her past memories again and she remembered everything. Which my theory is, no, that Beatrice's daughter, whatever, might have knew that Kinzo's mistress might have looked like her, but I feel like the person who would know the most is probably her own offspring, which might be Shannon and Cannon or Sayo or whatever the fuck. That is my theory. And because of that, because she realized what was all the disgusting things going on in the incestuous family bloodline, she was disgusted and she wants to kill everyone on Rakinjima and get revenge on this family. The Ushiromiya family. That is my theory.
Congratulations.
Okay. Okay.
With this, you have made clear the existence of the piece known as the 19th person. A 19th person for you to blame, just as you longed for. A sacrificial sheep upon which you can shift the blame of any crime. How amusing that it happens to be Milady. Yuki. Runabe laughed indiscreetly. Somehow, I didn't like how he put that, so I didn't feel like laughing along with him.
That's right. That's that thing Aunt Rosa said.
ベアトリーチェは死んだ
Yeah, Tarichi's dead.
私が殺した
I killed her?
どういう意味なんだ
What did that mean?
I'm getting hungry.
Oh shit, you think she
それは
killed, like,
私の
the
口から
daughter?
語るよりも実際に顛末をご覧になった方が早いでしょう。
So, okay,
Oh,
so if
right,
Aunt
right. I
Rosa...
forgot about that. Yeah, remind
Yeah,
me of
so if
it.
Aunt...
She said she killed
Yeah,
her.
so that means she probably killed,
Did she say how?
the...
I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but she probably, as a kid, killed, the Kinzo's daughter, who was Beatrice, or his mistress's daughter that looked like her, like a carbon copy of her. She killed her. So the only way that there can be another Beatrice now is if she had an offspring, and that offspring wants revenge.
And it just
Oh,
so happened to
what?
be the perfect age. But if 19
Because
years ago...
you know, the age is gonna happen no matter what. She's gonna look old, even if it was like before.
Because
She
Rosa
would be
would have
like
had to been a
in her mid.
kid. Well, Rosa killed
Yes.
it. Well, Rosa's kind of young. Probably like... I don't know how old she is. Probably in her 30s. At most. I don't know timeline. But I mean, it is possible because she's the youngest one.
Yeah, but I think the person, the murderer now is just is Kinzo's daughter's daughter or son or child, whatever gender they go by.
As for that, it may be faster to see actual circumstances rather than listen to me tell you. Let us advance the clock a little more. Renove pulled a stylish pocket watch from his pocket and touched the watch stem. Did I say pocket watch? As soon as he did, I saw gold butterflies gather behind his back and take the form of a person.
Ah.
Was it Beato? I quickly realized it was someone else. Man, I'm getting hungry. Too late though. It was her. The oldest sister of the 7 stakes, who loved tormenting me more than her 3 meals a day. But I don't consider myself lucky to see that sexy ass. I won't be able to keep up with their torture game. I'll do it.
Okay.
Runave-sama. So you're still here? This is an urgent call from Beatrice-sama. My. What kind of urgent business could it be? It seems my chat with Battler-sama has run a tad long. Well then, Battler-sama, if you will excuse me, please continue to enjoy your game with Milady.
Yeah. I'll enjoy it as best as I can.
あんたはベアトより話が弾むからな
Because my conversations go a lot more smoothly when they're with you, as opposed to her.
赤も気前よく使ってくれるしよ
And you're more gracious with the red too.
ぜひまたおしゃべりに来い
Come
よ
and
な
talk again whenever time you like.
Battler-sama. Despite how I look, I am Milady's furniture. I can do nothing that Milady does not desire. What I said in red was something that normally should have come out of Milady's mouth. I did nothing more than announce the red truth in Milady's place as she sulked.
やっぱあれへそを曲げてたよな
So she really was sulking then. That's not pukukuku.
He didn't pukuku either.
I said
Well, Balor's is easy because it actually sounds like ehehe.
Okay, give me a pukukuku.
Pukuk. It's impossible. Nobody laughs like that. Sounds like a dog. Seeing me and Runabik incomprehensibly hitting it off, that steak Nei-san cocked her head curiously. Cock? Runabik-sama. We are keeping Beatrice-sama waiting. Let us hurry. Yes, I shall go immediately. Well, Battler-sama, I will see you later. It appears that we have finally started to get along. As I thought, I have that feeling we'll manage to become good friends.
Sure, you mean partners at gossiping. My nose just got stuffy when I said that. Gossiping behind Beato's back.
Ronavis-sama! My tummy's a rumbling. Rumbling.
Rumbling. My tumble is rumbling.
Yes, yes. If you will excuse me. Maybe she didn't like seeing him act so friendly with me, or maybe she really had been told to hurry. When the steak Nei-san let out a thunderous cry, one of it laughed frivolously and disappeared, as if running away.
Steak Nei-san.
Why am I, the oldest sister of the 7 stakes of purgatory, being summoned for a menial task like this? Even though Beato-sama could have been the one that told one of the younger sisters, who look like they've got nothing better to do. Sheesh.
Why so grumpy, Nei-chan? If you're hungry, eat a cookie or something. Why don't I give you the last one?
How thoughtful. Then, shall I take one? I casually pushed the snack plate with the last remaining cookie over to her. Thank you.
The fuck?
As though coming as a period at the end of a sentence, a sharp sound pierced the table. That was a nice line. The nails on 3 of her fingers extended, grew sharp, and pierced the space between my fingers on the hand that was pushing the plate, missing them by a hair's breadth. It happened in an instant, so for a while I didn't even realize that her fingernails had grown. I'm just thinking about the ramen I have downstairs. I bought some ramen packs, and I just really want to devour.
Think about the toilet I'm about to destroy.
Do you want to go to the bathroom?
No. I thought it would be funny to say though.
Okay. Fuck it, I'm just gonna save that. You never know. It can be put in an out of context compilation. The tips of those nails were sharp like blades. Were like blades with a red manicure. The spaces between the bases of my fingers hurt sharply. Those razor-like blades had been plunged into the tables, a hair's breadth away from the back of my head. You fucker you literally said the same fucking line. Yes, I know. Because of those 3 blades, I was unable to even let my careless right hand tremble, and by now, all I could do was let a bead of cold sweat drip down. Gulp?
Son, isn't it about time you cut your nails? Jesus Christ.
It's Lucifer. That is my glorious name. The honored furniture who serves Beatrice-sama, and the oldest sister of the 7 stakes of purgatory. Not like my disgraceful younger sisters. If you don't show proper respect, you'll regret it.
And why should I regret it exactly? Can't really think of a reason.
Stupid kid. Do you really want to play with me that much? Was it that unforgettable? I'll thrust my stake deep inside you and let you enjoy being gouged to the fullest, okay?
That sounds like that kind of sounds like a BL I read yesterday.
Damn it, my asshole's still sore from last time.
Damn it, I really hope they don't fuck my eye socket.
No, not that one.
Someday I'll have you down on the floor and say the same thing.
Oh, really? Wow, I can't wait. Oh shit.
Motherfucker. Oh, what?
I just realized I never turned on my fucking stream deck, so my command wasn't working.
Ah.
And I missed the poop joke. They didn't actually save it. Yo, can this fucking thing save the replay?
Oh. No, my poop joke.
It's okay, it's in the VOD.
Yeah, but then you'd have to manually click.
That is true, huh?
It was good. You can post that on TikTok. And you can get like 2 likes out of it.
Huh? Did I huh? It's my signature huh.
Huh? No.
My huns are pretty good. Rosa eventually regained her calm. The men wanted to hurry her into— oh my god, we're back to reality. The men wanted to hurry her into talking faster, but Kyrie intervened. If something like that had really happened, then it would have been a terrible experience that Rosa wouldn't want to remember. Oh, we're back here when she was talking about it. After taking several deep breaths, with her hand over her chest, it seemed like she had more or less resolved herself to talk. My pills! I didn't take them.
That's not important right now. She's telling the story.
How old was I then, I wonder? Middle school, probably? Though, I don't remember very well. Anyway, I think I was about that age. Uh-oh.
Which means maybe about 20 years ago?
Maybe 19 years ago? Back then, my grades weren't very good, and mother was always angry at me. Ow! Fuck, my finger. I tried to do my best in my own way, but I couldn't match up to mother's expectations at all. Mother was always very strict with Rosa. I sympathized with her at the time.
You say that even though you're always talking behind her back. I didn't say that by
Would you give it a rest, Ava? And then, that's the first time he's ever like talked to her like that. Where did you meet? Beatrice's. Rosa-san? Hideyoshi-san. You mustn't rush her now. It's okay, Rosa-san. Just, tell us at your own pace. Thank you. It's kinda hard to talk with my voice like that. It was a day I'd been harshly scolded by mother. Even though my tutor had promised to keep it a secret, apparently they told mother about how I had complained. Mother scolded me brutally, saying my name was a disgrace to the Ushirimiya family. Who hasn't been there? Of course, I was doing the best I could. But I had none of the Cross Nissan's dignity. I couldn't get excellent grades like Eva Nissan, and I had no leadership abilities like Rudolph Nissan. I never stood out. I didn't particularly excel at anything, and I found myself asking why I had been born into the Ushirimiya family. We've all been there. I began to question more and more why I'd been born at all, for real. Then it happened on a day— sorry, I just swallowed my pill. Then, oh wait, what? This is what happened on the day I experienced my mind going blank for the first time. For the first time in my life, I realized that in addition to facing or surrendering to my problems, I had a third choice of running away. Though I say run away, but there's no way I could have left Rockinjima and gone somewhere else. But anyway, I wanted to run away from the mansion, my own self at the time. In a way, it was kind of like running away from home, or maybe a passive sort of suicide. I wanted to disappear. Or maybe it was that childlike form of resistance where I tried to make my parents worry by disappearing. We've all thought about running away before.
Yeah. I wrote to write suicide notes or notes about marking the worst days of my life and hid them in like the corner of my room.
We've all deleted a suicide note or twice, once or twice.
In the 3rd grade.
I don't remember anything from that far ago. Oops.
But I don't know what's real or fake anymore, so like I could have just imagined it.
I can't even. Like I'm conscious enough to remember that I existed back then, but that's like about it.
I mean, I remember pieces of it, but the thing is, I can't tell people what happened in my past because I don't know how much of it is true because I became really disillusioned and like kind of like the mental stuff happened during like high school, so I actually can't remember much of anything.
Yeah. I just forgot it all. It's weird that you can forget
We
so
don't
much
need to
of your
remember.
life. I childishly thought that if I went into the center of the forest, escaped from the Ushiromiya house, and maybe became lost, then I'd make them worry and teach them a lesson. And then you went into the forest that you were told never to enter. Yes. After reaching that beach, I followed alongside the ocean. I didn't have any particular reason, but I felt that if I went around to the opposite side of the island, there might be a place that no one knew about, which might become a hidden house just for me.
If you go around and if you go around, if you if you go around by the beach, that'd be impossible. It becomes a cliff partway, right? You fucking pushed her off the fucking cliff. There's no way you could pass that way.
Of course. So I kept going wherever I could, which kept taking me deeper and deeper inland. It's a horrible forest without any paths, but that was comforting to me then. If I could make it through such a dangerous forest, then I'd be that much further away from the Ushiromiya family.
How shameful. You were scolded because of your grades. All you had to do was work harder.
You mustn't say that. Doesn't Rosa have her talent as a designer instead? Literally speaking, he was covering for Rosa, but everyone knew that Rosa's company hadn't been profitable.
Would it? This is no time for sarcasm. I can't do my Cartman voice right now, so I just sound like a normal human being. So you managed to end up with your... You managed to...
Like, these two are like generally... Cross and Ava are such fucking bastards. Like, she is talking about some like heavy shit and they're still making fun of her.
Yeah, like this could be information beneficial for them, but they don't care.
Sorry, Rudolph is the least shitty of the four.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Balor resents
as
them,
he-
and like the other kids don't resent their parents like
Okay, but like there's probably a reason why we resent him. We don't know if he's like a pedophile or not. Just like, just wait.
Yeah, be at the Richies. It's like Cartman voice.
What the haven't you people ever heard of?
Rosa nodded weakly. About how far did you walk? Could you show it to us on a map? Natsui-san, do you have a map of these islands? Excuse me.
There isn't one here now.
I forgot about my beloved Natsuhi. It wouldn't help. I was just walking randomly. Even if you gave me a map, I wouldn't know. And 20 years have passed since then. I probably couldn't reach it again even if I went into the forest. Several people let out dejected sighs. It was vividly clear that in their haste, they thought some hint related to the witch's epitaph, or maybe even the goal itself might be resting there. Oops.
Ouch. I just broke my arm.
Oh no.
I know. On Rockinjima, only the land around the mansion is ready to be developed on. Oh my fucking god, I'm going to fucking go on Do Not Disturb! The rest is completely uncultivated, and it'd probably take a lot of work to survey the island.
But just knowing that it actually exists is helpful. It would take some money, but if we enlisted an aerial photography company to investigate, or asked the businessman who constructed this mansion about what happened at the time, we could probably find some way to search for it.
That's right. At least we have more options now, as opposed to when we weren't sure it existed.
Indeed,
That's really
it may be worth investigating right away.
The siblings will do the investigation together.
Oh my god, together?
I won't leave you alone on your own, Nissan.
It wasn't yet certain that the gold was hidden in that secret mansion, but the sparks seemed to have started flying between Cross and Ava already.
Aish. Give it a rest, you two. Rosa, please continue.
Yes. Okay, a good scene. Holy fuck. Holy shit, a good scene. And it's because it wasn't in that fucking fantasy world again. Blindly, randomly, I kept running on and on. Suddenly, I came across something I thought was an animal trail. I was very tired and had no idea how far I'd walked, so at that time, I naturally took the easiest path. As I did, suddenly right before my eyes, a very, very tall fence appeared. It was a fence wonderfully adorned in a gothic style. For an instant, I thought I'd gotten turned around and returned to the original mansion. Of course, there were fences around the mansion to stop us from entering the forest, but this fence was decorated differently, and moreover, it was very tall. Probably reached a full 2 stories up. It was covered with ivy and created a mysterious, solemn atmosphere. At the time, I believed the legend of the witch of the forest Beatrice. I had been told that she was very frightening, but some of the servants told me that sometimes she'd help you if you respected her. Because I had little confidence in those days, I believed the only way I could be saved was by receiving her help. That's what I thought what I did. That's why I thought what I... Yeah, that's what I did. I believe that this was the fence of the mansion belonging to Beatrice, the witch of the forest. I thought that if I could meet with her, she'd definitely save me. So I decided to try going in. The fence was very, very tall, and it didn't look like I'd be able to get over it. So I chose to walk around it. I thought that if I did, I'd eventually reach a gate. But it wasn't that easy. The fence had an incredible length to it. To match its incredible height, and no matter how far I went, I didn't reach a corner. It might have encircled a massive area. Or maybe I just had that impression because my child legs made it difficult to walk in the forest. Anyway, I couldn't find a gate for a while, and I started to feel sad and thought the witch had rejected me. As I did, I eventually came upon a large tree whose twisted root had bent the fence. It might get my clothes dirty, but if I crawled it, I looked like I'd be able to sneak in.
And there, you found the hidden mansion?
I don't know if it was the hidden mansion we've been talking about, but at the very least, it wasn't a place that we know of. It wasn't as though I came out onto the garden as soon as I passed the fence. I had to continue through a lot more uncultivated forest after that. This is a very weird song. I just feel like there's a bunch of random instruments just like hitting each other. As I did, the forest suddenly opened up, and what appeared there... Yeah, it was an unbelievably fantastical scene. To think that on Rockinjima, where I thought only we lived, there could be such a wonderful mansion hidden away. A beautiful flower garden spanned in front of the mansion. It was a flower garden of a completely different design from the rose garden we knew so well, and it's very lovely. I love all the flowers on the screen. Of course, the mansion was also wonderful. It It was a couple sizes smaller than ours, but it was still elegant and adorable at the same time. There, I saw her figure. I saw her sitting in the garden chair, positioned to give a view of the flower garden, wearing an elegant dress, nice flowers. It was that black dress embroidered with gold that you would later know from the portrait. That's black? I thought it was like a...
Burgundy.
Yeah, oh, that's not... That is not black. Maybe the portrait's a little darker, I don't remember. I hadn't seen an elegant dress like that except in fairy tales and in stage and musicals. For a person to be wearing that as her normal clothes, that in itself seemed quite fantastical. The mysterious scene was enough to make me lose my sense of reality. If someone had told me that this was a dream, I might have nodded obediently and waited to wake up in my bed. Excuse me, my hiccups. I'd forgotten to hide myself in my shock, so she eventually spotted me. At first her expression was quite listless, but when she noticed me, her eyes opened very wide. It was only natural, considering that a guest she didn't know had suddenly appeared. I lowered my head automatically, planning to greet her and apologize for entering without permission. And then I killed her.
And I killed him. Who are you? A new gardener?
Those were her first words she said to me. I grew slightly calmer, because I realized that we could talk to each other. Because I hadn't been turned into a frog by just meeting her eyes like a terrifying witch in a fairy tale. I've also been smoking since I was a child. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have entered the garden without permission.
Who are you? Name yourself.
I am Ushiromiya Rosa.
Ushiromira. On a Kenzo's family?
It's like, I feel like we've entered a different visual novel, by the way. Huh? The classic, huh? Yes. I'm Kenzo's daughter. Good afternoon. I was a little surprised. After all, grandfather was a great man, feared by everyone, and she spoke of him without using honorifics. So I was immediately terrified of her. After all, if she could refer to my fearsome father that way, she must be the witch with incredible power. After staring at me curiously, she beckoned me to come over. Frightened as I was, I obeyed. After all, I thought she might really turn me into a frog. The closer I got, the stronger the fear became. After all, I was saying that over and over, as I kept saying over and over, that woman in her dress in the flower garden in the mansion, the whole picture was so fantastical and beautiful that it seemed separate from reality. It probably wouldn't have surprised me at all to learn that she really was a witch. And I was really lucky. She hadn't turned me into a frog. I awkwardly stood there, stock still, and she motioned to an open chair to urge me to sit down. Oh.
This is like a dating sim.
Yeah, like
or
the vibe
like
shift.
A scene from a dating sim. Like that CG looks like it's from a dating sim. This is your like first date. Have a seat. Welcoming and speaking to those who visit the garden for the first time is my sole pleasure. Of course, I have no other pleasures other than that.
As she said this, she let an unhappy smile show for just an instant. Really? She looks quite happy. Because I was full of strange mix of tension and excitement, I really asked her a question all of a sudden. Are you the witch of the forest? Yatsurichi?
Indeed. I am Beatrice. As I thought, Beatrice actually existed.
Youch. Did she really look like the portrait? Yes. Really, just like the portrait. So, she wasn't just a witch from father's imagination.
Well, what did you talk with her about?
I guess it's kind of dark. I would just assume it's kind of purpley though. As she prepared some tea, she asked me all kinds of things about myself. First, she was surprised that I had come through the forest. It seemed she believed that many dangerous wolves lived outside of the fence. When I told her I had come through the forest to reach this place, she was shocked. She asked how I managed to escape from the wolves. Did I give them a biscuit and they let me go? Or did I cover myself in a magic cloak? That kind of thing. That sure sounds like a witch. What an interesting person.
Quiet, dear. This goes way back. But didn't Father threaten us, saying that we should never get near the forest because the wolves live there?
Yes, I did hear something like that. Ridiculous. Even though Japanese wolves went extinct long ago. Is that true? I would believe it if you guys didn't have wolves on the island. I don't know why I said your islands.
Yeah, you're right. I speak for I'm the Lorax and I speak for the Japanese.
Truly a trick to fool children.
I don't remember though. Did Dad really tell us something like that? It was the Witch of the Forest, right? I didn't think I have ever heard about wolves. This was when you were still in elementary school. Don't you remember? Back then, you actually said that you'd be cool to try petting wolves. I can't read. Father immediately gave up on the wolf story and changed it to the story about the witch. Seriously, what transparent lies they were.
Why does my phone brightness keep changing? It's confusing. I don't have auto brightness on, it's off. At that time, the witch story had a much more immediate effect on you. Rudolph, to the wolves. I remember it well. Don't you remember those nights when you clung to my back? I see. So even Rudolph's son used to be that cute.
Shut up! I was just a kid.
Well, at any rate, if Father's the one who shut Beatrice up... Why do they say up? It makes sense that he'd use the same story about the wolves. To him, the vast forest of Rokkenjima was a wall that shouldn't be crossed, dividing his two incompatible worlds. The Ushirumiya family and his mistress's mansion. Considering the height of the fence, it does sound as though Father turned the whole area, garden, and all into a giant jail cell. Just like a border dividing the two separate worlds.
Well, aside, could there always have been a breed of stray dogs there at the time? Perhaps the fence was there to protect against those. No, you're naive, Natsumi.
It would ruin the local...
It would ruin the value you get out of the local plants.
Yeah, that is true. And the wildlife would get fucked if they just put a bunch of wolves on the island.
Did my mic mute?
I didn't hear you.
Ugh. There aren't any wolves or stray dogs on Rokkenjima. That fence was probably a border between us and the world. His world! His world!
But if she innocently believed the story about wolves, that's pretty naive. That's nothing like what I expect a witch to do. You're right. I sensed that too. She was very pompous, like my image of a witch. But she was somehow very childish. She was, how should I put it, too straightforward. She gave me the impression that she didn't know anything about the world. It was as though she came from some fairy tale land. She really was a strange person. I just heard a weird noise in my room. Because Kenzo fucking didn't teach her anything except how to speak.
Yeah, because she's basically like a fucking child.
それからどうしたんだ?
And has a mentality of a child. And Kenzo was attracted to that. What happened after that?
親父の話とかは出たのか?
Do you end up talking about dad at all?
Yes. Once every few days, usually on an arranged day, but sometimes suddenly, father would casually appear and they'd drink together, or else they'd take a walk together or something. Said she just happened to be alone on the day I visited. I see. An obvious mistress, you might say. My, yada yada. I don't know how much younger she was, but good for father.
You can be sure this was no indecent relationship. Idiot. There's no way a lover's meeting between a man and a woman wouldn't have some sensuality. What happened next? What did you talk about after that?
I'd already introduced myself, so I asked about her. When I did, the atmosphere quickly grew depressing. How should I put it? She seemed to grow listless and lonely. It was the same expression I saw on her face in the beginning.
Well, she was his hidden mistress after all. If she had just walked around whenever she liked, Mom might have found her. I'll bet that she was practically under house arrest.
Oh shit, hold on. Did I put the stream on private? No, it's public. Okay, good.
Even though she had beautiful clothes, a beautiful mansion, and a garden, she must have felt pretty cramped. I'll bet she had it rough. And then?
She was definitely worried about something. I remember feeling really sad myself when I realized I asked something. When I realized it wasn't something I could do anything about by talking to her. She seemed to forget I was even there. She gazed vaguely off into the distance. It was silent for a long time. I thought I must have said something wrong. But it didn't seem to be the type of atmosphere where I could apologize, so I remained silent for long time. Until she remembered I was there. And then she muttered unexpectedly. Kill you.
There are really no wolves behind the fence.
Huh? Yes, that's right. I've never seen any wolves, not even in a zoo.
What is a zoo?
It's a place where they keep all kinds of animals. They're full of rare animals like elephants, giraffes, pandas, and gorillas. Harambe. How do they predict it?
Gorillas.
I just added that in.
Oh. So there aren't any wolves in the zoo. Then, it might not be so scary.
Even if there are wolves, all the animals are put in cages so it's safe. That's why you can look safely at them and learn about them. The mighty witch of the forest was apparently terrified of wolves. I remember it looked pretty funny to me at the time. Okay, well she's just gonna say it. Huh? She didn't know about zoos. I explained how fun zoos could be. It was very difficult for a person like her who had never visited one to understand. On the contrary, as I explained it to her, her expression grew increasingly dismal. She couldn't see the difference. Apparently, even though she lived in an elegant mansion that was surrounded by a high fence and seemed to lack for nothing, She couldn't see how she was any different from the animals shut up in cages.
Oh my. Everyone calls me Beatrice. But that does indeed to be the name of a great witch, you say. But that isn't me.
Uh-oh.
I cannot use any magic. I simply have the soul of the witch sealed inside my body.
There was definitely something odd about her. Beyond from just being cut off from the world, it seems she truly believed that magic exists. I think she talked about lots of weird things, but I don't remember the details. All I thought was that this might be a person to be pitied. She was unable to leave this mansion of her own free will, a prisoner without even realizing it. And she didn't even know anything about the outside world, didn't even understand who she was. She probably vaguely realized that she was being pitied. But since she didn't know anything, she seemed incapable of recognizing her own unhappiness. Long ago, when I told Nae-san that I felt sorry for a bird in the cage, she said this: "A bird that only knows about the inside of a cage doesn't long for the outside." But this wasn't a bird, she really was a person. Even if she'd never been outside the cage, she understood that there was more to the world, so I invited her. "You want to try going outside the fence?"
There aren't really any wolves.
There aren't. You'll definitely be safe. I forgot to do more smokery.
I want to leave. Oh god, she's gonna fucking die. But the gate is
And
always
then
closed.
And then the wolves come out the corner and maul her.
No, and then Rosa fucking pushes her off a fucking cliff and she fucking dies.
That's the place I came through. I got it. It's got a crack you can slip through.
We go through, will there be a world outside?
Yes. There's gonna be wolves.
There really aren't any wolves. I can't tell if a piece of my laptop fell off or this is a piece of my headset. I hope it's not my laptop because that means it's going old and decrepit and I gotta transfer my files. But I don't know what fucking files I need to transfer over because I got some coding
Well,
shit in
even
my...
if your laptop falls apart, your data's still fine.
Yeah, but I don't know how to transfer my data into a different device because I don't know what files to transfer over, what apps to transfer over. Because don't tell anyone this, but I have a lot of pirated apps. I
Well,
also so happen to have a lot of coding in my laptop that I don't know how to transfer over.
Uh-oh. It's alright, as long as the hard drive's fine. You always like plug an external monitor anyways.
Except I'm on the ground right now.
It's fine. Right, there aren't any. I'd only planned on inviting her to go on a short walk. But she kept looking over her shoulder at the mansion, as though she was seriously worrying about the decision. Then I learned what she was preparing herself for.
I've had enough of this place. I want to go outside. And I want to know who I am. What's happening in this world. Why I was born.
I didn't know what her life had been before. It was probably something she couldn't express easily. If it was harsh, she just had to say she wanted to escape. If it was sweet, she just had to say she'd stay. For example, maybe it was like how a hot fireplace on a winter day makes the air get thicker and thicker, giving you a headache. Even though you know you shouldn't keep things the way they are, you still need the courage to open the window and be tormented by the cold wind. lawnmower at 9:50. Oh, it's a car. It just sounded like a lawnmower. She was starting to realize that she couldn't stay there forever. She was starting to realize that she had to go outside someday. But since she didn't know about the outside world, she must have needed the courage to take that unspeakable first step outside. And despite that, she made her decision. She'd voiced her decision to go outside. A decision that she was probably making for her first time in her life. I hesitated for a moment. Father had decided that she should live here. She was like Father's beloved bird in a cage. If I let her escape, Father might scold me harshly.
I wanna see.
See what?
I wanna see. A zoo.
Ooh. Her next line is gonna say ooh.
Oh my god.
I was just a little surprised when she finally gave me a gentle smile. Could that have been a farsightedness brought about by her decision to venture outside the cage? It was a smile so gentle, I couldn't imagine that it had come from that one stark face.
When I speak to you, I keep hearing things about I don't know. About things I don't know. That does not sound correct. I don't even know about the things called a school, nor do I know about zoos. I don't know about movie theaters. I don't know about amusement parks. And I feel from the bottom of my heart that I want to know about those things. Will you take me to see them, young child?
Pay for my zoo ticket. Oh, that was me.
She's looking. Oh.
Yes. I was nervous about how I could keep it a secret from Father, but her face looked so happy, so I went along with her and nodded. She seemed not to notice the meaning behind my big smile. She seemed to believe that I really take her to all those places. She was pure and genuine. She'd probably never been tricked by anyone. No, maybe it's better to say that she'd never learned how to doubt. Her smile was somehow radiant and yet pathetic. I wanted to find a way to grant her modest wish.
I have enough of Beatrice. I want to know who I am. I want to be started out as a new human, not Beatrice. So I want you to take me away from here. I don't need tea anymore. I don't need this dress. I won't meet with Kinzo ever again. Please, take me from here. Rosa. Oh shit, she's gonna fucking die. I feel bad because she's gonna die. Basically, she's like basically like some kidnapped, well, not kidnapped, but some severely abused child, and that makes me sad because she's probably 19 here maybe, but she literally has never ventured outside, and that's kind of depressing knowing that her life was just so pitiful. Because imagine spending your whole life indoors and then the first chance you go outside you get fucking murdered.
Yeah, I like this scene. However, that responsibility was one that a child like me couldn't hope to bear. Hopefully the scene can end by the time I'm ready to go to bed, which is, I want to go to bed after this scene. Still, when I see her serious gaze, along with a brilliant smile that made it look as though a possessing spirit had left her, I could feel a little courage start to rise up inside me. This was definitely something that would get me into a lot of trouble, and yet it was definitely the right thing to do. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I'll take her away from here. Of course, I won't be able to talk to Father, and not Mother either. Should I talk to Onisama or Ne-sama? No, what about the reliable Genji-san? Oh, that's right. What about Kumasawa-san, to whom I can always talk to when I'm in trouble? I'm sure they'll be able to do something. Anyway, for now, I'll take her out of here. This was already a place she didn't want to be. So I took her to the crack in the fence and I led her outside. She was all nervous, checking to make sure there was no wolves around, but once that fear disappeared, even just walking around the dense forest seemed to be fun somehow. Every time she found something, she asked me about it, and they were all really trivial things. Was that a flower? Oh, what's that flower? What's that leaf? And that sound and that smell. It really was like the inside of the fence had been her entire world. So now that she had traveled beyond the limits of her world, it's strange. When I first saw her, I really thought she was the witch herself relaxing inside the witch's mansion. Now it was different. Or actually, the complete opposite. She left the world she believed to be finite and was overjoyed at the realization that the world was endless, something she had never thought of before. So everything she saw was new. It was almost as though she was the one who had been thrown into a fairy tale. If she was Alice, then I felt almost like a rabbit holding a watch. To her, it was probably a really fun walk filled to the brim with excitement. I was actually at a loss at what to do. After all, I randomly walked to get here. Of course, I didn't know the way back to our mansion. There were no lights in the forest, and I hadn't brought a flashlight. I realized it'd be terrible if it got dark while we were still like this, and grew impatient. She was too innocent, and apparently she couldn't understand at all how frightening it would be to face the night outside the forest. I was the one who brought her outside. I had to take responsibility somehow and resolve this situation. So I had a thought. Let's go into the ocean for now. And when we follow the beach around, we should eventually make it back to the mansion. However, that was much more of a problem than I'd imagined. I didn't have a map or a compass. There was no way I could walk in a straight line through an uncultivated forest, and I immediately lost my sense of direction. I actually had no clue which trail I'd come by and was completely lost. At this rate, night would definitely fall before I had a clue where to walk. Okay, literally, this island is not that big. If you pick one direction and you just keep walking, you will eventually reach somewhere and on the edge. If you're like generally lost, just stop turning and just go in a straight line.
Just follow the trails. Those trails aren't created by nothing.
Yeah.
Those trails have to be created there because nature doesn't naturally have random trails unless those are constant patches of areas someone walks over and over again, or even an animal walks over and over again. But typically, you'll see that most trails are man-made, so just follow the fucking trail.
This was no time to cry. After all, that woman following behind me was so innocent and having so much fun, so I definitely had to lead the way through the forest.
And this is
For the sake of her smile, I love. Gritting my teeth so that she didn't see me looking troubled, I pushed my way through the woods, advancing down a path that wasn't a path. Hey. Then, after going through various troubles, I fortunately managed to reach the ocean. At that time, I still didn't even have a clue where I was on the island. For the time being, I was a little reassured that if I just went around this way, I would surely be able to return to the mansion. However, though I had reached the ocean, we were atop of a rock cliff. The beach was far below us. I was tired from walking around the forest so long, so I figured that with an open area, even a rocky beach, would probably be much easier to walk in. So I suggested we go down that rocky cliff somehow. But it looked pretty dangerous, so I figured there was no other way. However, Beatrice agreed to my plan without any doubts. Even though she was probably older than me, she meekly obeyed, almost as though we were some kind of chick who thought I was her mother. I searched to see if there was some part of the cliff I'd be able to get down. Then I found a place where the cliff had fallen over and made a slope. It looked a little dangerous, but I went down using both hands and legs. Like I was crawling, I thought it'd probably be okay. Let's go down here. It'll be dangerous if we aren't careful. But if we go down to the beach and walk along it, I don't think we'll have to worry about being lost anymore.
Indeed. She's gonna fucking die! That's what you're gonna do? I'll go too. Even getting lost is fun for me. Quite amusing.
She really had no sense of danger. There was probably no doubt that she had lived a life without discomfort. Even though she knew it would get dark when night fell, she couldn't have imagined how dangerous the inside of the forest could be without light. Furthermore, it seemed like she couldn't grasp at all how dangerous it might be if she fell from the cliff. I warned her repeatedly to be careful. I cautiously examined our potential route down. It seemed to be quite a long drop. I think it might have been about 10 meters down. It would probably have looked shorter than the roof of the mansion. But looking from the top, it almost felt like staring down from the observation room of Tokyo Tower. But Beatrice still appeared to be completely without fear. It felt as though she had never been taught that high places were dangerous. No, maybe she believes that she was a witch and that she could fly, so there wasn't really any need to worry. Please be careful. We're pretty high up.
Indeed. I shall be careful. It looks like we can get to the ocean if we go down.
And she just jumped.
Bro, she's wearing that fat ass dress. Can she like, you know, you're around another child. You can take it off so you can climb down and then put it back on once you're back down, right? Just throw your dress
Put it down.
so you have less fabric restricting your movements, and then pick it back up and just put it back on when you're on the beach. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why doesn't she just follow along the cliff instead of going down the cliff?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there probably should have been another way to walk down, but oh well.
Because, you know, that you might have a beach, but that beach can have stone walls surrounding it, which would suck. No.
I don't know. I thought you read the line.
No. Indeed, I shall be careful. It looks like we can get down to the ocean if we go down. Is there an aquarium there?
No, there aren't any aquariums on this island, but there should be lots of fish in this sea.
I see. So there are fish. Are there whales and dolphins and penguins like you talked about?
No, you'd have to go to an aquarium for those. And you'd have to leave this island to find an aquarium.
That's so. Well, I'm looking forward to it. What kind of fish are there? Whales?
They're really big fish, and aren't they mammals? And they spit seawater into the air.
Oh. And dolphins?
They're really smart fish, and oh, weren't they also mammals? They're really smart and can be taught tricks and stuff.
Oh. What about penguins?
Weren't they birds?
Hey, what's going on? We're talking about aquariums, but none of these things seem to be fish.
Well, there aren't just fish. It's full of all kinds of things that live in the ocean.
Oh, hello. I really am looking forward to that.
She let out what might have been a funny rush and sort of cry. No, it's probably a scream. It came right out of the... Okay, what the fuck was that line? Just delete that line. Her body separated from the cliff and silently fell. I immediately wanted to say something to her. I wanted to say, didn't I tell you to be more careful? It was the thought of a child. It was how a child immediately gets mad when something bad happens, trying to find an excuse to show it wasn't their fault. Of course I said it out loud. Are you okay? Didn't I warn you over and over? I don't know if I like that. I felt like that could have been written a little bit more interesting. I don't even think it was that, like, good of shock value from its abruptness. Like, I don't even think that was good. Fuck. Fuck.
So... she fell from the cliff. And then what?
What happened to her? Rosa. Rosa fell silent. Her gaze dropped to her feet as though she was seeing through the floor into some disgusting memory.
She died, didn't she?
Ava's brutal words were the ones that Rosa had wanted most to avoid. And when she was hit with them, she screamed in resignation. Yes, she died! It was a rocky beach with lots of sharp, dangerous rocks exposed. Her eyes were still open, and an incredible amount of blood kept pouring out, quickly spreading out until it looked like a red carpet. I spoke to her, shook her, but she refused to respond, not even a blink. No, she wouldn't even close her eyelids. It was my fault. She was wearing a dress, remember? Even though I knew her outfit was difficult to move in, I said we should go down a cliff. She was incredibly innocent, so she obeyed what I was saying without any doubts. I should have told her to take it off. I'm a fucking idiot.
How long do you plan on remaining dead? Open your eyes already. Darn you, turning into a lump of meat all by yourself while I'm gone.
おめえのとこの太もも姉ちゃんとイチャついてただけだ
I
ぞ
was flirting with your ass Nei-chan, friends.
それより
More importantly, what the heck's going on here? Well, as you can see, I missed my footing, fell down, and died.
なんだと
The hell?
19人目として
Even though you
登場して
showed up
おき
as the
ながら
19th person,
死んだだと
you were already dead?
避けるな
Don't mess with me. That's impossible.
ローザおばさんは子供だったし
Aunt Rosa was a kid, and she was
医
panicked.
者がいたわけでもない
It's not like there was a doctor there.
多分死んだと誤解し
She
ただけ
probably was mistakenly thought you were dead, and you were probably, alive and pretending to be dead or something.
そうだろ
Isn't that right?
Can't be true. She's got to be alive. Otherwise, how could she be here? Alright. I think we should stop because this scene's gonna go on for another hour because Valor showed up. Okay, aside from the repetition at the beginning, it was pretty interesting.
Yes, this was better than the other chapters.
Definitely a better stream for Umineko. Umineko gets its rare W. That was fun. We'll continue sometime. Tomorrow I'm gonna be crocheting more and yay, fruits basket.
Yay.
But yeah, you want to Umineko, I will message you around maybe the same time-ish.
Okay.
Alright, but with that guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you all for watching. I have to pee. Good night.
I gotta destroy my toilet. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.